Casey's Top 40.
From Hollywood, this is David Perry sitting in for Casey Kasem. Entering the survey at number 38, here's the first of this week's two debuts. It's the first Top 40 hit for a three-man, one-woman group from Orange County, California called No Doubt. This is No Doubt and Just a Girl.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem on Casey's Top 40. Well, now we're up to No Doubt, a band that was so frustrated that their record company wouldn't put out their second CD that they used their own money to put out a CD themselves. Back in 1992, the band No Doubt felt their career was taking off. They had a recording contract with a hot new label, Interscope Records. Their debut album sold pretty well, particularly around their hometown of Anaheim, California. And they had a successful tour. Shortly after they wrapped up that tour, the four members of the band were ready to go into the studio to make a second album. But the folks at Interscope Records had other plans. They wanted the band to wait a while for their following to grow. And whenever the members of No Doubt asked about the delay, they were told simply, just wait one more month. Well, those 1 months turned into a year, and then another year. That's when the members of No Doubt said, enough. If Interscope wouldn't pay for a new album, they'd pay for one themselves. So early in 1995, they went into a tiny studio lead singer Gwen Stefani had in her garage. They recorded 10 songs there, and without telling their record company, they paid to have those songs released on a CD they titled The Beacon Street Collection. The CD became a minor hit around Southern California, but more importantly, it helped spread the word about No Doubt. And that was enough to convince the folks at Interscope to send No Doubt into a professional studio to record their current album, the CD Tragic Kingdom. This week, a track from that CD is at number 25 on Casey's Top 40. This is No Doubt with Just a Girl.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem, and tumbling 9 notches to number 39 on Casey's Top 40 is the band No Doubt. Back in the mid-'80s, the group had 2 lead singers, their current singer, Gwen Stefani, and a man named John Spence, who used to do acrobatic backflips during their performances on stage. In 1987, John left the group, and Gwen's been singing lead by herself ever since.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem, and rising 4 notches to number 22 on Casey's Top 40 is the latest hit for No Doubt. Singer Gwen Stefani says that like many of her friends, she was into sports as a teenager, but she didn't play softball, basketball, or field hockey. Instead, Gwen was into synchronized swimming. Nowadays, Gwen does some synchronized rocking with her band No Doubt on songs like Spiderwebs.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem, and that means we're up to the brand new number 1 song in the USA. It's by a group that owes a lot of their success to their lead singer's persistence. She used to call a local radio station night after night begging them to play her band's songs. She's Gwen Stefani, and she says that back in 1991, the band was struggling to get noticed, struggling to get a record deal. Luckily for them, there was an influential rock station near their hometown of Anaheim, California, that sometimes played demo tapes of unsigned bands. So Gwen sent the station their demo tape and started a one-woman campaign to get it played. Every night for weeks, she called the station's request line, posing as a fan and asking the station to play her band's tape. And each time she disguised her voice. But one day, Gwen Stefani forgot to disguise her voice. And when the DJ asked who was calling, she stuttered, I'm Gwen. I mean Glenn. Oh, the singer says she was so embarrassed that she slammed down the phone. She figured, that's it. I've blown everything. Fortunately for Gwen and the band, that's not what happened at all. As it turns out, other people had been calling the station requesting the tape, and soon that influential station in Los Angeles started playing it more frequently. Well, her persistence has paid off, because these days she doesn't need to beg radio stations to play her music. Her band's latest CD, Tragic Kingdom, is currently one of the hottest selling albums in the USA. And a song from that album entered our survey 6 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, it reached the top 10. And now, it's become the biggest hit in the land. The brand new number 1 song in the USA on Casey's Top 40 is Don't Speak by No Doubt.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. Now we're up to Don't Speak. It's by a Southern California band whose lead singer has taken that song's title quite literally, by not speaking. Gwen Stefani of No Doubt is known for her energetic and exuberant stage show, and that includes the vocal acrobatics she goes through each and every performance. As lead singer for the band, she sings non-stop for 2 hours a night, and is beginning to take a toll on her voice. In short, she keeps losing it, and it keeps getting harder to make it come back. It started happening last year while No Doubt was on tour in the USA. And during their recent 2-month tour of Europe, it became really bad. The band had to fly in a throat expert who gave Gwen a regimen of exercises to do to relax her throat muscles. He also told her that between shows, she could not speak, period. At first, Gwen refused to take his advice. But as her voice became worse, she gave in. Gwen says it would be horrible if after all the time it took for No Doubt to make it, her bad throat put an end to the group. She says, quote, "I'm really greedy for more success. I want to do another album." This week, Gwen Stefani gets to stretch her vocal cords on our survey with a song that sounds like the advice Gwen's throat doctor gave her. At number 6 on Casey's Top 40, this is Don't Speak by No Doubt.
Casey's Top 40.
From Hollywood, this is Casey Kasem. And sliding a notch to number 39 on Casey's Top 40 is Gwen Stefani and her group No Doubt. Recently, the singer took her first step toward becoming an actress. According to the entertainment newspaper Variety, she signed up with the United Talent Agency in Hollywood, and she's keeping her options open for theatrical roles. Here's the singer with her eye on the silver screen, Gwen Stefani and No Doubt with Sunday Morning.
America's Top Hits.
5 years ago this week, one of the top hits in the USA was by a band whose lead singer is very clear on who her main role model is. She says, it's a frog. Gwen Stefani is the colorful, exotically dressed lead singer of the Orange County, California band called No Doubt. In one interview after another, she's been asked who she looks up to, and her answer is always the same, Kermit the Frog. Well, as she told Rolling Stone, quote, "He's strong yet vulnerable. He's shy yet popular. He likes to sing, and he's green, which is my favorite color." Which sounds like as good a reason as any to make the world's most lovable hand puppet your role model. 5 years ago this week, Gwen Stefani and her band No Doubt had one of the top hits in the USA. We're counting down the biggest hits by the biggest stars on this Mother's Day weekend. Star singer Gwen Stefani is a fashion trendsetter whose own mother fashioned one of her first stage costumes. Her mom made her a replica of Maria's dress from The Sound of Music to wear in a high school talent show. Nowadays, Mrs. Stefani's daughter has a style that's, well, all her own. Here's Gwen and No Doubt up 2 notches to number 11 with Hella Good.
The hits from coast to coast.
Hit by hit, we're getting closer to the number 1 song in the land. Here's a band whose members work off the pressure of being in the studio by playing basketball. They always make sure there's a basketball hoop somewhere nearby the studio, so they can knock off a quick game when things aren't going right. This week, things are going very right for No Doubt as they rise from number 4 to number 3 with It's My Life.
Counting down the hits with Casey Kasem.
Well, now we're up to the song It's My Life by a band whose platinum blonde lead singer is playing one of the most famous platinum blondes in movie history, a star who died at age 26. Gwen Stefani, lead singer of No Doubt, has long said that she wants to act in the movies. She just wanted to wait for the right part, and she finally found it in what will probably be one of the most anticipated movies of 2004. It's called The Aviator. It's the story, directed by Martin Scorsese, of the early life of the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio. The film deals with his career as a movie director and producer. And since he did his work during the golden age of Hollywood, it features some of the era's biggest stars. Cate Blanchett stars as a young Katharine Hepburn. Kate Beckinsale is Ava Gardner. And in the central role of Jean Harlow is singer Gwen Stefani. Long before Marilyn Monroe, Jean Harlow was Hollywood's most famous platinum blonde, a woman who starred in 24 movies before dying at the age of 26. The Aviator is due out in December of this year. Now, here's the woman who plays the role of Jean Harlow in The Aviator, Gwen Stefani, with her band No Doubt.
The hits from coast to coast.
The smaller the numbers, the bigger the hits. At number 6 for a second week is a band whose lead singer, Gwen Stefani, says, quote, "The hardest thing is making videos. Not because they're hard work, but because you want to be original, and everything you think of has been done before." Here's No Doubt with a song with a video set back in the roaring 20s where Gwen plays a gangster. Here's It's My Life.
Number 10.
Here's a current hit for a band who have no delusions about who they are. Lead singer Gwen Stefani says, quote, "We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're a rock band, and we're really lucky to be doing what we do."
The hits from coast to coast.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 10 extra by No Doubt, a band whose lead singer, Gwen Stefani, says she's a musician because of Dr. Seuss. Gwen says, quote, "My dad used to read Dr. Seuss to me all the time. I love his stories because they're so whimsical. They're like songs, but without the music." Gwen says that to this day, when she's stuck on where to take a song, she sits down and reads some Dr. Seuss. Quote, "Reading him lets me know I can cut loose. Dr. Seuss is all about going wherever you want to go with your imagination. Reading him gives me the shivers." And she'll be getting those shivers again reading Dr. Seuss to her newborn son, Kingston. Now, with an extra, here's Gwen and No Doubt with a smash from 1996, Don't Speak.
Number 3.
Holding steady is Gwen Stefani, a singer who says she's been on a lifelong diet and exercise program since she was in the 6th grade. Quote, "It's an ongoing battle, and it's a nightmare, but I like clothes too much." Here's Gwen with Akon and The Sweet Escape.
Number 8.
Dropping a Notch is a smash by two musicians with fashion lines of their own. Gwen Stefani's label is Lamb, and Akon's label is Convict Clothing. They're together on a stylish hit called The Sweet Escape.
America's Top Hits.
This week back in 1997, one of the top hits in the USA was Don't Speak. It's by a band whose lead singer says one of the best things about success is that she doesn't have to sew her clothing herself. Gwen Stefani says, quote, "I used to stay up late doing it all myself. I designed my clothing, I cut the fabric, and then I sewed everything together." She says, "It wasn't that it was difficult, it was that it was painful." Quote, "I'd have backaches and neck aches all the time. There were pins all over the bedroom floor, which I was always stepping on. My life was a major disaster. Now, I just pick out the material and someone does it for me." This week, back in 1997, Gwen and her band No Doubt stitched together one of the top hits in the USA. Here's Don't Speak.